So that leads us to our next winning well principle. Focus on the game, not the score. Now, I'm a marathon runner, and I have run many, many miles. And as I started preparing for my 5th marathon, it occurred to me that there had to be an easier way. And so I was reading Runner's World magazine, and they say, you know what, are your toenails turning black and falling off? Because we have a better way. Instead of running long, long miles all the time, sure, you got to do some of that, but the secret to real fitness can also be accomplished by weaving in interval training. And I see some runners in the room. So interval training says, go hard, focus hard on very short periods of time, followed by active recovery. And so as I was doing this interval training, I was also at the same time leading a 2,200-person sales team in the Verizon stores. And I had just moved in, so I started in human resources, and then I moved to call centers. I had never ever been in the back of a room of a Verizon store. I had no idea how the point of sale system worked. I had never sold a phone in my life. And I had been promoted over a team of 14 district managers, all of whom had been in sales and retail sales at Verizon for their entire career. 12 of 14 of those folks were guys. The man who had the job before me was literally a 350-pound world-class weightlifter. And here comes HR chick. Now, rumor had it that the reason I was given that job is that we had a terrible diversity problem in the store leadership team. There were not many store directors that were women. And I had been on succession planning, and everybody said, look, this is just a diversity move. She'll be in there for a year. She's not going to make a difference. And clearly, she doesn't know what she's doing. And so I went in, and I said to these guys, yes, I don't know how to sell, but I do know how to lead. And what I do know is we have a massive revenue problem here. Because AT&T has exclusive rights to the iPhone, and as I'm walking around and talking to all the sales reps, they're all like, just lower quota, lady. We can't compete against AT&T. And I said, we got to look at this differently. Clearly, somebody is making quota. So I went and I worked with the salespeople who were knocking it out of the park. And that brought me to Yomi. Now, Yomi had a goatee that was down to here. And I don't know what was going on with his clothes, but they were really too tight. He did not look to me like someone who would be a rock star salesperson. And I said, Yomi, what's going on? He goes, yo, it's so easy. You just ask every customer where they work. I'm like, well, why would that work? He said, because all the consumers want an iPhone, but all the business people, and this is back in the day when, do you know what a BlackBerry is? The businesses are afraid of the security of the iPhone, and they want BlackBerries. So if I ask every customer where they work, and as it turns out, they say, oh, well, I own my own business, then you're converting 5 and 10 and 20 lines at a time. So I shadowed him, and I watched him, and it was unbelievable. Where do you work? Why, I own my own business. Now, there is nothing that small business owners like more than to talk about their business. Yomi had cracked the code. So I went back to my leadership team and I said, hey guys, this is unbelievable. Yomi has taught us how we're going to solve this entire problem. And they said, Karin, 2% of our revenues are from the small business space. 2%. Nobody in the nation has cracked this code. You're going to come in from human resources and customer service and tell us this is how we've got to sell? You are crazy. And I said, interval training. Okay, how about this? What if I just asked you to get every single salesperson on our team for one day to ask every customer where they work? One day, that's it, one day. Now I'm the boss, they gotta say yes, right? So we made it feel like a holiday. I started with some lead up a couple of days before. On Tuesday, it is going to be a fantastic day. This is going to be SMB, Small and Medium Business Madness Day. We're going to ask every customer where they work. I had my assistant was sending out all kinds of flyers, and then that morning, I got every district manager to fill their car up with Red Bull, and all of us hit over a 9-hour radius. We hit every single store. And we walked and we got on the floor and we asked every customer where they worked, and we celebrated when we saw it. We took pictures of people who were having success when they asked every customer where they worked, and it turned into a sale. We took their picture and we put it in a newsletter, and we sent that out every hour. And then every couple of hours, I got people on a conference call. I said, "Go team, we're going to..." Do you know what happened? On a normal day, we would sell maybe 20 lines of small and medium business. 10 times the sales happened on that day. And then I got the district managers together the next morning. And I said, if you can do it on this Tuesday, can you imagine the possibilities if we did this every day? So that's what we looked like on that day. That was we were working with the wildly important goals of Stephen Covey, and so I had them wear wigs with their Red Bull. And at the end of that year, we had gone from 2% of our revenues being in the small and medium business space to 20% of the revenues being in the small and medium business space. People were making their quotas. The district managers were happy. And it is 6 years later, and they are still the #1 sales team in the country leading in the small and medium business space. Now, what does that have to do with healthcare? It works in every industry I work with. There is some behavior that if you can isolate that behavior and make it feel wildly important, if you can celebrate it, if you can over-communicate it, if you can be a maniac about it, this is what's most important. This is why it's most important. And show that it makes an impact, you will change your game.